Good day, Coach Jude, and good day, classmates. My name is Paikon Banin, and my role in this video presentation is to give the overall introduction. Today, we are going to presenting the Child and Adolescent Development and Learning Principles course. We are also going to share our insights before we end of our presentation. Let me introduce you my fellow member. This is Miss Modi Papata. And this Miss Ruby Jane, and this is Miss Honeygale Bais, and the last one, this is Miss Danica May.
Childhood. Childhood is the period from birth to approximately 12 years of age, marked by rapid physical, cognitive, and emotional development. Adolescence. Adolescence is the stage between childhood and adulthood, typically from ages to 18, characterized by significant physical, emotional, and social changes as individuals seek to establish their identities. There are importance of understanding these stages. Number 1, developmental insights. Understanding these stages helps identify normal growth patterns and milestones, enabling caregivers and educators to support healthy development. Number 2, educational approaches. Recognizing the unique needs and capabilities of children and adolescents informs teaching strategies, enhancing learning outcomes. Number 3, mental health awareness. Awareness of the challenges faced during these periods can lead to better mental health support and interventions. Number 4, social relationships. Understanding how relationships evolve during these stages can improve social skills and interpersonal dynamics. Number 5, policy and advocacy. Knowledge of childhood and adolescence informs policies related to education, healthcare, and child protection, promoting better societal outcomes. Overall, understanding these stages is crucial for fostering healthy development and preparing individuals for successful adulthood. Jeffrey Dahmer was an American serial killer and sex offender known for his horrific crimes in the late 20th century. Born on May 21, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Dahmer had a troubled childhood marked by family instability and social isolation. He became increasingly withdrawn and developed an interest in necrophilia and violence. Dahmer's killing spree began in 1978 with his first victim, Stephen Hicks, whom he murdered shortly after graduating high school. Over the next 13 years, he targeted young men, luring them to his home with promises of money or companionship. His crimes involved not only murder but also dismemberment and, in some cases, cannibalism. In 1991, Dahmer was finally apprehended after one of his intended victims managed to escape and alert the police. Upon searching his apartment, authorities found disturbing evidence, including photographs of dismembered bodies and human remains. In 1992, he was convicted of 15 counts of murder and sentenced to 15 consecutive life terms in prison. His case sparked national outrage and discussions about mental illness, the effectiveness of law enforcement, and the societal factors that can lead to such extreme criminal behavior. Dahmer was murdered by a fellow inmate in 1994, but his legacy continues to provide debate about violence and mortality in society. Alice Walker is an acclaimed American novelist, short story writer, poet, and social activist. Best known for her 1982 novel The Color Purple, which won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. Born on February 9, 1944, in Eatonton, Georgia, she was the youngest of eight children in a family of sharecroppers early in life, including a childhood injury that left her partially blind in one eye. Despite this obstacle, she excelled in school, eventually earning a scholarship to Spelman College in Atlanta. She later transferred to Sarah Lawrence College in New York, where she became involved in the civil rights movement. Her writing often explores themes of race, gender, and social justice. The Color Purple, which depicts the struggles and resilience of African American women in the early 20th century South, brought her international acclaim.
Hi, good day, Coach Jude. I am the second presenter, and my topic is the historical views of childhood. Historically, the way people saw children and raised them has changed over time. There are three main perspectives. The first one is the original sin, and the second one is the tabula rasa, and the third one, which is the annate goodness. Original sin, back then, children were thought to be born sinful or bad, so the goal of raising children was to guide them towards goodness and salvation. And the second one is the tabula rasa, 17th century. According to philosopher John Locke, he believes that children were like blank slates, meaning they aren't born bad or good, but are shaped by their experiences. Parents were seen as key to helping shape their children into a responsible adult. And the last one, which is the Annate Goodness, 18th century, according to Jean Jacques Rousseau, he believed that children are naturally good. The idea was that children should be allowed to grow with as little interference as possible. Nowadays, we see childhood as a very important time in life that builds the foundation for the adulthood. Modern theories focus on how children learn and grow through different stages of life. For the sociocultural context, we have the culture, ethnicity, and gender. Culture includes the traditions, costumes, and beliefs passed down through generations. For example, in the Philippines, we practice manopo to show respect to our elders. Ethnicity is connected to where we came from, like our language, religion, and traditions. In the Philippines, we have different ethnic groups like Cebuano, Bicolano, and Ilocano. Gender refers to the rules as society assigned to men and women, while sex is about biological differences over time. Society has become more aware of gender equality, and this has shifted traditional views on gender roles. For Gender and Development, in short, GAD, is a movement that makes sure both men and women can equally participate in progress of society. In the Philippines, GAD works to eliminate violence and promote equality for everyone. When it comes to social policies, including the K-12, Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, and Republic Act 9262. K-12, this program by the Department of Education aims to provide students with a stronger foundation by including 12 years of basic education. It helps them gain skills for lifelong learning and future careers. Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, this law gave the Philippines President special powers to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. Republic Act 9262, this law protects women and their children from the violence in the Philippines. And lastly, human development has three main processes, including the biological, cognitive, and socio-emotional. Biological, physical changes like growing taller and going to puberty or developing motor skills. Cognitive changes in thinking, learning, and problem solving, like how children learn to speak and solve the puzzle. The last one, which is the socio-emotional, changes in how we interact with others and manage our emotion, like developing self-confidence or learning to be more assertive. Development happens throughout life, even in adulthood. We can keep learning and improving.
Good day, Coach. I am the third presenter and my topic is all about development process and periods. At this topic, we have 7 parts. The first one is biological, cognitive, and social emotion process. The second one is biological process. The third one is cognitive process. The fourth one is development is relatively orderly. The fifth one is development takes place gradually. And the sixth one is development is contextual. And the last is development involves growth, maintenance, and regulation. Biological, cognitive, and social emotion process. In conclusion, biological, cognitive, and social emotion process are the interconnected and influence to each other to shape our emotion and experience. Understanding this process can help us to appreciate the complexity of human emotion and develop more effectively strategies of managing emotional well-being. Biological process. Biological process in the context of emotion refers to the mechanism that occur within our bodies. The process involves the interaction between the various systems, organs, and tissue, which ultimately influence our emotional experience. Cognitive processes. Cognitive process in the context of emotion refers to the mental mechanism that help us to perceive, process, to respond to our emotional stimuli. Development is relatively orderly. It refers to the gradual and relatively orderly change that occur in our emotional experiences and abilities over time. Development takes place gradually. Development in the context of emotion refers to the gradual and continuous process of change and growth that occurs over time. Development is contextual. Development is contextual, meaning that the process of development is shaped by the influence by the surrounding environment, culture, and experience. Development involves growth, maintenance, and regulation, which are interconnected processes that work together to ensure the health and well-being of individuals or organisms.
Good day, Ma'am Judith Bertinas, our Coach Jude, and my classmates. I am the fourth presenter. I'm Miss Ruby Jane Rosales from Bitalad IA 1B. So my role in this presentation is to tackle about the periods of development. So what is period of development? Period of development refers to a time frame in a person's life, meaning this period of development is a process of human or on how you develop as a human. Periods of development has characterized certain features that involves 5 periods of sequence, which are prenatal period, infancy, childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. So I will discuss the 5 periods of development. First, the prenatal period. So what is prenatal period? The prenatal period is a time from conception to birth, encompassing all stages of fetal development. Also, it is crucial for health of both the mother and the developing baby. The prenatal period is typically divided into 3 trimesters. So the first one is the first trimester. In the first trimester, the baby develops gradually within 1 to 12 weeks. And within the 1 to 12 weeks, the mother begins to experience, or the mother's body begins to experience, such as major organs system begins to form, and the embryo develops rapidly, and by the end it is called fetus. And last, common changes for the mother such as fatigue, vomiting, and other hormonal changes. The next is the second trimester. In second trimester, it has 12 to 26 weeks. In 12 to 26 weeks, it has the following. Fetal growth accelerates and structures like heart, brain, and limbs develop further. Next, the mother may experience a decrease in nausea, or vomiting, and increased energy. Also, the sex of the baby can be determined via ultrasound. The last is the third trimester. In this, there has 27 to 40 weeks. In 27 to 40 weeks, it has the following. The fetus continues to grow and mature in preparation for birth. The mother experiences physical discomfort due to the growing baby and other changes in her body. So that's all for the prenatal period. So the second period of development is the infancy. Infancy is a development period that extends from birth to about 24 months. It is a time of extreme dependence on adults. Many psychological activities are just starting, such as language, symbolic thoughts, sensorimotor or sense, coordination, and social learning. In other words, infancy is the earliest stage of human development, typically defined as a period from birth to around 2 years old. Infancy is marked by several key milestones and challenges, and these are physical development, cognitive development, social and emotional development, and language development. So the number one milestone in infancy is the physical development. In physical development, there are 2 developments, which are growth and motor skills. So the growth is a rapid increase in weight and height, and the motor skills is a progression from reflexive movements to controlled action, just like rolling over, sitting up, crawling, and walking. So the number 2 milestone of infancy is the cognitive development. Also, in cognitive development, there are 2 developments, such as sensory exploration and object permanence. So the sensory exploration, infants learn about the world through their senses. And the object permanence, understanding that objects continue to exist even when not seen. It develops around 8 to 12 months. Third is social and emotional development. So also it has 2 development, which are attachment and emotional expression. So the attachment is forming bonds with caregivers, typically starting with parents, and emotional expression, developing basic emotions like joy, anger, and fear. Last is language development. In language development, there are only one development, such as cooing and babbling. So this is starting to make sounds and eventually forming simple words. That's for the infancy. So the next period of development is the childhood. The childhood or the early childhood is between 5 to 6 years. During this time, children learn to become more sufficient and care for themselves. They develop readiness skills. Middle and late childhood is about 6 to 12 years old and is referred to as the elementary years. Children at this stage masters the fundamental skills of reading, writing, and arithmetic, and they are also formally exposed to a large world and its culture. So that's for the childhood. The next period of development is adolescence. So this is the developmental period of transition from childhood to adulthood, 13 to approximately 24 years old. It begins with rapid physical changes, dramatic gaining of weight and height, and the development of sexual characteristics, such as enlargement of breasts and penis. Meaning, adolescence is the developmental stage that occurs between childhood and adulthood, typically spanning ages 10 to 19. And that's for the adolescence. And the last one, periods of development, is the adulthood. So the adulthood is the last stage of life that is between 24 to death. Adults reach their peak physical health in early adulthood, followed by gradually aging, which may include changes of strength, endurance, and health. Also, adults often develop greater emotional stability and maturity. So that's all for the adulthood. So, overall, understanding these periods can inform education, parenting, and policy making to better support individuals throughout their lives. And that's all, everyone. I hope you learned from my topic, which is the periods of development. Thank you for watching. God bless.